Alright, so after doing the test video, everything seems to be working okay after restarting my tablet. So here we go with take 5 of your New Japan Pro Wrestling Dominion 2016 review. So this took place in Osaka Jo Hall. This was on Father's Day. And gonna see like how good was the show, but we're gonna get into that right now. So it starts off with a pre-show match between where you have a 6-man tag, Jay White, David Finlay, and Juice Robinson versus Satoshi Kojima, Hiroyoshi Tenzan, and Manabu Nakanishi. So you start off with the Young Lions attacking from the start, working over Kojima. Then Kojima fights him off, hits a cozy cutter on Finlay, then lights him up in the corner with some machine gun chops, then whips him to the other corner with a running forearm, followed by a top rope elbow drop for a 2 count. So you have Tenzan tagging in, and you have him and Kojima then working over Finlay with Mongolian chops before Nakanishi tags in, starts working over Finlay a little bit. So afterwards, Finlay hits a drop kick on Nakanishi before making the tag to Juice, and him and Nakanishi end up going at it. We have Juice talking shit like he usually does. Pretty funny to see him do that, as always. But Nakanishi gets him with a headbutt to the midsection, goes for a lariat, but Juice ducks and hits a backdrop for a 2 count. So you got Juice Robinson setting Nakanishi on the top rope, going for a super brainbuster, but Nakanishi blocks and headbutts him off the top rope, then delivers a diving crossbody, and both men are down. So then they make the tag to Tenzan and White, who start going at it for a little bit. White gets the upper hand after hitting hits a running back elbow, then whips Tenzan into the corner to follow up with a running European uppercut and a top rope missile drop kick for a 2 count. Tenzan makes a comeback, hitting White with a headbutt and a series of Mongolian chops, and as Tenzan's making his comeback, White stops his momentum, putting him in the crossface, but Nakanishi was right on time to break it up. So you have Tenkozy hitting the Dudley Death Drop on Finlay as he was fighting to even up the odds. Then the match breakdown, you have Tenzan and White left in the ring, the legal men, as also Kojima was holding Jay White, and Tenzan was about to hit him with the lariat, but White ducks and Kojima ends up taking the lariat. And then White then nails Tenzan with an enziguri, but Tenzan's able to fire back with a spin kick, followed by a side effect for a 2 count. Right before transitioning into the Anaconda Max, forcing Jay White to tap out. So your winners are Hiroyoshi Tenzan, Satoshi Kojima, and Manabu Nakanishi. This was Jay White's send-off match, since he graduated from the New Japan dojo recently. He's going to go on a learning excursion to Ring of Honor Wrestling. Looking forward to see what he does in Ring of Honor. Which he has a match on the Aftershock tour, which hopefully it'll be available on demand, to where I could see his match with Leo Rush, because that's a promising match there. But this match, since it's a pre-show match, so it doesn't really affect the rating of the show overall, but I'll give the pre-show match a solid 3 out of 5. It was pretty much get the crowd hyped up for the main card, and it served its purpose. Afterwards, you had White thanking the crowd for getting behind him in his time as a young lion in New Japan, and he says that when he comes back, he's going to be a heavyweight. And he was speaking to the crowd in Japanese for the most part. Didn't think he would be fluent in Japanese, but You never know. Let me pretty much open the blinds a little bit to get some lighting here. Get a little bit of light. Okay, much better. So, on to the main card. We get an opening match. Opening 6-man tag match. Togi Makabe, Captain New Japan, and Yoshitatsu taking on the Bullet Club's Adam Page, Bad Luck Fale, and Yujiro Takahashi. So you start with Bullet Club attacking a little bit before the match even gets officially started. You have Adam Page hanging Yoshitatsu over the top rope with his noose. They're trying to get over Adam Page as a heel, which is the whole point of this 6-man tag match. Since he's made his New Japan debut on the show. You have Makabe and Captain New Japan stopping Tatsu from passing out. So the match starts and you have Page working over Tatsu for a little bit, but Yoshitatsu ends up doing the Triple H comeback. Fucking ridiculous. Then he charges Page, but Page was able to send him over the top rope. Then followed up with a shooting star press on the apron. Like the shooting star press shoulder tackle. Although the camera angle, the camera angle was fucking shitty though. They weren't able to show you Page hitting it. But they cut to Fale using part of the guardrail, beating Makabe with it. And then they cut to Takahashi beating up on Captain New Japan. So as they get Tatsu back in the ring, you got the Bullet Club taking over the match, working over Tatsu for a little bit. Then you get to the point where Fale is about to go body splash Tatsu in the corner, but Tatsu was able to dodge and make the hot tag to Togi Makabe. You have Togi Makabe running wild on Fale. Tries to go for a Northern Light suplex, but Fale was able to block it. Fale Irish whips Makabe, who comes off the ropes with a lariat for a 2 count. So Makabe goes for a second lariat, but Fale was able to counter with a Samoan drop. Then you have Captain New Japan and Adam Page tagging in. Captain New Japan pretty much hits everyone with the throat thrust right before getting jumped by the rest of the Bullet Club. Then Captain New Japan ends up getting a surprise roll-up on Page for a 2 count. And then follows up with a rock bottom for a 2 count. And then as Fale and Takahashi broke up the pin, Makabe comes in and clotheslines the both of them, sending them to the outside, allowing Captain New Japan to go to the top rope and hit a diving headbutt for a 2 count. And as he charges Page, Page kicks him in the face and hits a rite of passage for the 3 count. So your winners are Adam Page, Bad Luck Fale, and Yujiro Takahashi. Overall, this was the worst match on the card, so I have to give this a 2 out of 5. Just lame. A lot of these guys on the match were mediocre workers at best. Page is a pretty good worker. Tatsu's okay. After the match, you have Page hanging Captain New Japan over the top rope with his noose, trying to draw more heat on him. So that match, it was just there for the opening. Glad they got that out the way. So we move on to the next match, which is a tag match where it's Chaos versus Los Ingobernables de Japón. You have Tomohiro Ishii and Yoshihashi taking on Sanada and Bushi. So you got both teams fighting on the outside to start the match. Then Sanada and Bushi were able to take the upper hand, bring Yoshihashi back in the ring and work him over for a bit. Yoshihashi was about to make a comeback, but Sanada ended up cutting him off with a nice double leapfrog drop kick. Then Yoshihashi finally stops the momentum of Sanada and Bushi after hitting Sanada with a rolling neck breaker. You have Ishii tag in, and he pretty much ends up hitting a shoulder tackle on Bushi coming out of the corner. Then Sanada comes in, charges Ishii, and Ishii catches him with a power slam. Then he's working over Bushi in the corner with a series of chops and forearms right before going for the brainbuster. Bushi counters the brainbuster and nails Ishii with a heel kick. Ishii comes back with a headbutt, but Bushi responds with another heel kick. So then Bushi and Ishii tag their partners, Yoshihashi and Sanada. When Sanada gets caught with a head scissors takedown, Yoshihashi then follows up with a running chop in the corner, followed by a running drop kick with Sanada slumped on the top rope for a 2 count. Yoshihashi whips Sanada into the corner, and Sanada then does like the Ric Flair upside down flip and goes into a springboard drop kick, followed by a Hurricane Rana with Yoshihashi set on the top rope for a 2 count. Sanada follows up with a Saito suplex for a 2 count. As Sanada goes for the skull in, you have Yoshihashi counter it into a roll-up for a 2 count. Sanada comes back with a TKO for a 2 count. As Sanada goes for the skull in a second time, Ishii slides in the ring and he nails Sanada with a sick lariat. Then Bushi tries to come in and he gets nailed with the lariat as well. So you have a series of it goes back, then Yoshihashi and Sanada go back and forth with a series of counters. Then Yoshihashi proceeds to put Sanada in a neck crank submission. Bushi goes to break up the submission, but Ishii catches him and puts him in a rear naked choke. And Sanada eventually taps out. So your winners are Tomohiro Ishii and Yoshihashi of Chaos. This is a really good match. Pretty much better than the opening match. It's nice to see Yoshihashi pick up the win. You don't get to see that a whole lot. So I'll give this match a 3.5 out of 5. It was a good match. Good storytelling. Good to see both guys in the ring. Ishii and Bushi have really good chemistry. Like, it's always good to see like some of the best parts of the match were when you had Ishii and Bushi going head to head. But Yoshihashi and Sanada, they also have some pretty good chemistry as well. So look forward to seeing if the feud progresses between these guys. So now we're going to move on to Hiroki Goto versus Evil. This is a rematch from Wrestling Dontaku from a month prior. So you have both men brawling outside the ring to start the match. And you have Goto whipping Evil into the guardrail a couple of times. Then Evil grabs a chair and hits Goto with it. And then he wraps the chair around Goto's neck, takes another chair, and then smashes the chair wrapped around Goto's neck. Love that spot. Don't really get tired of seeing it. So then you have Evil getting Goto back in the ring to work him over a little bit. Then you have both men trying to clothesline each other until Goto eventually wins the exchange. Then Goto whips Evil into the corner, nails him with a lariat and a bulldog for a 2 count. So then, yeah, both men trading forearms until Evil nails Goto with a lariat, followed by Darkness Falls for a 2 count. As Evil goes for the STO, but Goto's able to counter into a neck breaker. So you have Goto hit his signature spin kick, and then he delivers a nasty kick to the chest, like a buzzsaw kick to the chest for a 2 count. After a series of reversals, you have Goto and Evil. Got your Goto hitting Evil with back-to-back headbutts. Then he follows up with the Ushigoroshi and the GTR for the 3 count. So your winner is Haruki Goto. Thought this match was solid. Wish they could have gotten more time to work, because I think they could put on a 4-star match if you give them enough time. They only had about 10 minutes. If they had 15 to 20 minutes, they could put on a better match, but still a fun match to watch. So I give this one 3.5 out of 5 as well. So we move on to the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships on the line in a fatal 4-way elimination match, where you have Matt Sydal and Ricochet defending the titles against Red Dragon, Roppongi Vice, and the Young Bucks. So you have Sydal and O'Reilly having a cool exchange early on. Then you have everybody in the ring fighting to get a quick elimination. So then, after it clears, you have Beretta hitting a Northern Lights suplex on Fish for a 2 count. Then you have Beretta working over Fish a little bit, where he follows up with a running back elbow in the corner and a clothesline for a 2 count. Fish, then Red Dragon take the upper hand and work over Beretta. And as Beretta hits a overhead German release on Fish into O'Reilly, he tags in Romero. He mounts a flurry of offense on Red Dragon until Sydal and Ricochet come in and try to cut off Romero. But you have Romero take care of both of them, and then Roppongi Vice hit a pair of suicide dives on Sydal and Ricochet before going back to work on Bobby Fish. Then as Romero hits a double slice bread on the Young Bucks, he then nails the Young Bucks and Red Dragon with forever clotheslines with everyone in the corner. You have Sydal and Ricochet trying to stop their momentum, but they nail. But you have what is it? Damn. Yeah, they nail Sydal and Ricochet with clotheslines before the Young Bucks come in and eliminate them by throwing them over the top rope. So Roppongi Vice is the first team to be eliminated. Then you have Red Dragon and the Young Bucks going back and forth, where O'Reilly ends up hitting Axe and Smash on Matt Jackson, and then Fish hits an exploder on Matt, sending him to the outside. So you had Red Dragon working over Nick Jackson for a little bit. Then as they proceed to throw him over the top rope, and Jackson's hanging on, you have Sydal and Ricochet sneaking in and eliminating Red Dragon, throwing them over the top rope. Red Dragon ends up getting pissed, and they hit the ring to attack the champs and hit Chasing the Dragon on Ricochet. So the Young Bucks take advantage of it and start working over Ricochet, trying to eliminate him. But Sydal makes the save, and then Nick Jackson slides out and delivers a super kick to Sydal. Ricochet then hits a DDT and a spin kick on the Young Bucks before making the hot tag to Sydal. Sydal comes in, the Young Bucks charge him, and he takes him down with a double Hurricane Rana. Then he follows up with a jumping knee to Nick Jackson and a spin kick to Matt Jackson. Sydal and Ricochet then nail a standing moonsault and shooting star press combination for a 2 count. Seidel catches Nick in a super hurricanrana with Nick seated on top rope for a 2 count. Yeah, both teams go back and forth a little bit. Then you have Ricochet hitting his signature deadlift suplex. We have and as Seidel and Ricochet go to the top ropes, the Young Bucks end up cutting both of them off, and Seidel ends up taking a double super kick from both Bucks. Then Ricochet goes for a springboard attack, but he gets caught with a super kick as well. And you have the match end with the Young Bucks hitting the Meltzer driver on Seidel for the 3 count. So your winners and new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions are Nick and Matt Jackson, the Young Bucks. So I have to say that I was disappointed in this match. I was expecting more of a match that may have surpassed their match at Wrestle Kingdom 10, but it was still a good match. Just left me wanting more. Just hope that if they have another match, they can actually surpass it. But then again, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag titles are just losing less value with each as they go by with each show, where you don't have any teams with a meaningful title reign. So you just have one team hold it a month, then the next month or two they'll drop it to another team. But that's the problem I have with the junior tag division. There's not enough tag teams there. But I'll have to give this match a 3.5 out of 5. It was a good match, but just didn't quite deliver my expectations. So next we get the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match between Kushida and Will Ospreay. So we get both men with a nice exchange. Then Kushida goes to target the arm of Ospreay, starts working him over. Ospreay ends up stopping his momentum when he finally hits like a handless handspring enziguri. So then Ospreay hits Kushida with a springboard forearm, sending him to the outside, and follows up with the Sasuke special. Ospreay rolls Kushida back into the ring and then delivers a standing corkscrew senton for a 2 count. Ospreay goes for the cheeky Nando's kick, but Kushida cuts him off with a mule kick. Then you have Ospreay and Kushida going back and forth a little bit, where Kushida hits Ospreay with a cartwheel kick, followed by sending him to the outside, then goes on the top rope to deliver a front foot plancha. So Ospreay is making his way to the ring. Kushida waits for him and nails him with a springboard drop kick. Very nice springboard drop kick. Then Kushida tries to follow up with the top rope moonsault, but Ospreay gets his knees up in time. Ospreay and Kushida then, they're going back and forth once again, and you have Kushida going for a tornado DDT, but Ospreay's able to throw him off and hit a standing moonsault, followed by a floating 450 off the top rope for a 2 count. Ospreay gets the cheeky Nando's kick, then tries to follow up with a cutter, but Kushida ends up blocking, and then you get another series of reversals that ends with Ospreay hitting the Spanish Fly, but Kushida manages to turn it into a cross-arm breaker before transitioning into the triangle choke. Kushida with his MMA background, always love seeing spots like that. Ospreay does power him up and turns it into an inverted lung blower. Didn't look all that clean. when he tried to power him up. I think Ospreay needs to beef up though. But Ospreay hits a corkscrew shooting star press for a 2 count. Then follows up with a 540 kick. Goes for the jumping cutter, which is his finisher, the jumping cutter. But Kushida counters and puts him in the hoverboard lock and rolling Ospreay back into the middle of the ring before he can reach the ropes. And Ospreay has no choice but to tap. So your winner and still IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, Kushida. So this match is not as good as their match in Invasion Attack. But I have to say, it's still a damn good match to check out. I'll give it a solid 4 out of 5. So next you have the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championship match. If you think the IWGP, the Junior Heavyweight Tag Division, is stale, go look at the Heavyweight Tag Division. They're pretty much dead. To where you have some Bullet Club. So the one constant in the Heavyweight Tag Division is the variation of a Bullet Club tag team. That's it. So you have Gorillas of Destiny defending the championships against Jay and Mark, the Briscoe brothers from ROH. You have the Briscoe brothers. Briscoe brothers working over Tama Tonga. Then Tonga Loa interferes, nails Mark with a clothesline. You have the Gorillas of Destiny pretty much working over Mark Briscoe. And then you have, early on in the match, you would have both teams fighting to take the advantage, but eventually it spills to the outside where Tonga gets thrown on the outside, and then Jay Briscoe nails him with the suicide dive. And you have the Briscoes taking the upper hand again, working over Tama Tonga. And as Mark Briscoe charges him in the corner, Tama Tonga pretty much throws him over the top rope, and Mark almost hit the guardrail. Like that would have been bad if he had hit the guardrail, but it's a good thing he missed it though. So then, while the referee's distracted, Tonga Loa ends up hitting Mark with a chair shot to the head. Then he proceeds to powerbomb Jay Briscoe on the apron. So the Gorillas of Destiny are taken back over, and every time the Gorillas of Destiny took control of the match, the crowd was just dead silent. But when the Briscoe brothers were taking over, they got the crowd going. But you have Briscoe brothers, Mark getting worked over by the Gorillas of Destiny. Then he nails Tonga Loa with the clothesline before making the hot tag to his brother Jay. And then Jay, he knocks Loa off the apron. Actually, no, he nails the clothesline with, Tonga Loa. Then, makes the hot tag. Jay takes out Tonga Loa. Then he goes to Tama Tonga and gets that neck breaker that Jay usually has, the one where he's turning him and he's like da 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 for a 2 count. So as Jay goes for the Jay Driller, Tama Tonga ends up blocking, but Jay just nails him with a sick, nasty lariat for a 2 count. Then Tonga Loa tries to come in, but he gets sent to the outside, and you have the Briscoes trying to hit a doomsday device, but Tonga Loa, he ends up coming back in, knocks Mark off the top rope. Then Tama Tonga hits a neck breaker on Jay. So the Gorillas of Destiny hit a Samoan drop and a neck breaker combo for a 2 count. And then they follow up with a Doomsday Powerbomb on Mark, but Jay's able to make the save at 2. Afterwards, Mark comes back and nails Tangaloa with a fisherman brainbuster, but he kicks out at 2. So Jay Briscoe then hits a J Driller on Loa for a 2 count. Then the Briscoes hit the Doomsday Device for the 3 count. So your winners and new IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, Jay and Mark, the Briscoe brothers. After the match, you had Adam Page and Yujiro Takahashi attack him. Takahashi working over Jay, and then Page hangs Mark from the top rope with his noose. So overall, this match was solid. And you had the Briscoe brothers carrying the Gorillas of Destiny. So I have to give this one 3 stars out of 5. So we're going to move on to the IWGP Never Openweight Championship match. Yuji Nagata and Katsuyori Shibata, a rematch from Wrestling Dontaku as well. So this is going to be the conclusion of the feud between Shibata and the third generation. So you start off with a slow exchange where you have both men feeling each other out. Then they get into a slugfest. Shibata goes after the arm of Nagata when he puts him in a modified armbar that Yuji Nagata usually does. But luckily, Nagata reaches the ropes. So Shibata takes advantage and works over the arm of Nagata. Really good. Actually, no. Shibata had him in a cross arm breaker. Well, it's the same thing, but then he used Nagata's own signature armbar. And then Nagata comes back with a running knee to the midsection. Then follows up with a series of kicks to Shibata, who's on one knee, and Shibata is pretty much chanting, "Hey, kick me harder. I know you can kick harder than that." So Shibata gets nailed with a nasty kick to the chest. So Nagata then follows up with a running kick to the corner, tries to go for an exploder, but Shibata is able to block. Then Shibata whips Nagata into a corner for a running kick. Then hits a series of forearms and follows up with a running drop kick. So Shibata then follows up with an underhook suplex for a 2 count. Yeah, both men trading forearms. Then they no-sell each other's suplexes, and Shibata ends up hitting an STO on Nagata. Shibata then goes back to the arm of Nagata. Then puts him in an octopus. But Nagata ends up reaching the ropes. Right before Shibata pulls him off the ropes and puts him in a sleeper hold. Nagata reaches the ropes, but Shibata ends up kicking him and hits a backdrop for a 2 count. Shibata goes for the penalty kick, but Nagata ducks and avoids getting the sleeper hold to put Shibata in his signature armbar. As Shibata reaches the ropes, Nagata works him over with a series of kicks, followed by a backdrop for a 2 count. Nagata then follows up with a brainbuster and a penalty kick of his own. Nagata attempts a second backdrop, but Shibata is able to block before Nagata hits him with a flurry of strikes. Shibata then puts Nagata in the sleeper hold, and he makes sure he's holding on as Nagata is trying to roll on the mat to escape. And as Nagata fades, Shibata finishes him off with a penalty kick for the 1, 2, 3 count. So your winner and new never openweight champion, Katsuyori Shibata. This was a really good match. This one was much better than Wrestling Dontaku. A lot of fans were expecting a slugfest at Dontaku, but they were holding back. So this match, they really did a good job. And afterwards you had Shibata and Nagata showing each other a sign of respect. And you had one of the commentators in tears, the one that, like the Yuji Nagata stand, he was crying. It's kind of funny. So overall, I'll give this match a 4.25 out of 5. This was the best match up to this point. So then we go into the co-main event, a ladder match for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship. Kenny Omega versus Unbreakable Michael Elgin. So you have Elgin coming out to a big pop, and then you have Omega coming out with Adam Page and Yujiro Takahashi. Red Shoes notices that the Young Bucks aren't there, so what he does is he goes under the ring and checks, and he ends up fighting the Young Bucks there. So Red Shoes proceeds to eject Adam Page, Yujiro Takahashi, and the Young Bucks from the match. Omega freaks out, tries to get the upper hand on Elgin, gets the jump on him, but then Omega pretty much fights back, and you have Elgin take advantage, get the upper hand, brawling on the outside, sends Omega to the ring, and as Elgin gets a ladder, and he's about to enter the ring with the ladder, Omega then hits a slingshot plancha onto Elgin while he was holding the ladder. Then Omega follows up with a tope con hilo before Page and Takahashi run out and attack Elgin, which pretty much made Red Shoes ejecting them completely pointless. So Omega goes to climb the ladder while Elgin's being held hostage by Page and Takahashi, but Elgin fights both of them off, gets back into the ring, and he stops Omega from getting the title. So Omega pretty much grabs the ladder, and then he does the Terry Funk spot where he spins the ladder around, hitting everybody. Elgin then proceeds to whip Omega into the ladder and follows up with a slam. Then goes for a slingshot splash, but Omega gets out of dodge. So then, Elgin goes to launch Omega into the ladder, but Omega pretty much escapes to the outside of the ring. But Elgin catches him with a front flip plancha, not only taking out Omega, but Page and Takahashi as well. So Elgin's climbing the ladder. Elgin's about to climb the ladder, but Adam Page hands Omega a trash can lid and a street sign, and Omega just gets whipped and nails him with the trash can lid, and then does a sunset flip powerbomb. Omega then whips Elgin into the ladder before climbing, and yeah, then he sends him to the outside to nail him with a series of trash can lids before whipping Omega into the guardrail. Omega then sets up a ladder between the ring and the barricade and tries to suplex Elgin through the ladder, but Elgin manages to block and hits a gourd buster onto Omega onto the ladder. Omega goes, and as Omega climbs, Elgin goes to climb, Omega ends up repeatedly hitting him with a street sign. then does a Finley roll and a moonsault. So Omega goes to climb the ladder, but Elgin pulls him off the ladder and hits him with the electric chair drop. Elgin then works over Omega with the ladder a little bit, and then whips him to the corner, nailing him with a series of clotheslines. So, as Elgin goes to hit a German, Omega slips out and hits a super kick. Then Elgin responds with a back body drop on Omega onto the ladder. Omega then sets up trash can lids. I don't know. He grabs 2 trash cans, places them in the middle of the ring, then puts a ladder on top of them. And Omega gets set up for a superplex, but he ends up fighting out. Elgin manages to catch Omega, who tried to do a crossbody, but then Elgin gets hit with a bulldog onto the ladder as he tried to power slam Omega onto the ladder. Then, afterwards, Omega then uses his strength and hits a gut-rich powerbomb on Elgin onto the ladder on top of the 2 trash cans. This is pretty sick. Let me see. No. Just some more. Okay, the lighting is much better. So, Omega then grabs another ladder to climb, but Elgin ends up hitting a buckle bomb. And as Elgin goes for the Elgin bomb, Omega escapes, and he's running to climb up the ladder and hurry up and get the IC title. Elgin cuts him off again, sets up the ladder in the corner, and then after a series of reversals, you have Omega getting hit in the face with the ladder by Elgin. Elgin then tries to follow up with the powerbomb, but Omega counters with a reverse Frankensteiner, followed by a charging knee. Omega goes for the one-wing angel, but Elgin escapes, and he nailed Omega with the stiffest spinning back fist. Like, everybody in the arena was able to hear that. Like, I've never seen a spinning back fist or heard one as stiff as that before. Just fucking sick. So Elgin tries to follow up with the lariat, but Omega ducks and hits the sling blade, which was a troll on Tanahashi, and the crowd was booing him. So you have both men climbing on top of the ladder, trading strikes, and then Elgin suplexes Omega off the ladder, goes to climb the ladder, but Omega pulls him by his beard and stops him from getting the IC title. Then they knock each other off the ladder with palm strikes. So then Elgin goes for a power bomb on the apron, I believe, or a pile driver. But Omega ends up hitting a back body drop. Omega then gets a couple of tables, places them and stacks them before placing Elgin on top of both of them. Omega's going to climb the ladder to dive onto Elgin to put him through those tables, but Elgin ends up getting up and he power bombs Omega on the tables. They never broke, kind of like how Randy Orton does an RKO and the table never breaks. It's that situation. Oh man, lighting looks bad, so hold on. Gonna close the blinds and turn the lights on. See if we can prove that. So, excuse me one moment. Yeah, we'll open up the blinds a little bit, but see if this works. Nah. But anyway, so you have Omega. Yeah, it works. So Omega gets put through the gets powerbombed onto the tables, which didn't break. Then you have the fucking, let's see, where was he? See, Elgin climbs to get the ladder, go to get the title, but then the Young Bucks run in and spray Elgin in the face with this cold spray. Then they proceed to super kick him, and then they handcuff him to the corner and they begin to work him over. Now, hold on, the lighting's not working. So then you have Yoshitatsu and Captain New Japan run out to try to save Elgin and free him from the handcuffs, but the Young Bucks end up catching him with a super kick. So afterwards, you have Elgin still trapped, and then you have Matt Sydal distracting the Young Bucks, and then Ricochet takes him out with the Tope con Hilo. As Ricochet goes in and tries to help Elgin by freeing him from the handcuffs, Omega comes in and he sprays Ricochet in the face with cold spray, takes him out with a trash can, and then climbs the ladder. Then you have Elgin break free of the handcuffs, and he gets Omega off the ladder, tilts the ladder, sending Omega crashing onto the outside with everyone else breaking his fall. So Elgin climbs and he becomes your new IWGP Intercontinental Champion. This is a pretty good ladder. It was a really good ladder match. There was a bit like the interference. They did make Omega look weak though. But the crowd, they really liked the finish, so overall, I'd have to give the co-main event a solid 4 out of 5. You had the whole Super Elgin thing, but I really don't think it was as bad as Best in the World 2014 in ROH, where he had that match with Adam Cole for the world title. That was fucking ridiculous. At least this wasn't as bad. So now we're going to get to the main event. IWGP Heavyweight Championship on the line. You have Tetsuya Naito defending against the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. So, hold on, let me move this over here. Okay, now we got the good light. Now that's better lighting. So, fuck. So you have Okada come out alone, no Gato, nobody else from Chaos. And then you have Naito coming out with his boys, Sonata, Bushi, Evil. Okada asked Naito for a one-on-one match, and then Naito eventually agrees, and he sends the rest of Los Ingobernables de Japón to the back. So this was a straight-up match. It was going to be a clean finish. It was going to be a clean finish. At least I would hope so. So you start off, you had the match where you have Okada and Naito feeling each other out. Then you have fucking Naito posing after exchange. You got Naito doing his signature pose, trolling Okada, gets out the ring, kind of takes a break to regroup and shit. So he gets back into the ring and Okada gets him with a snapmare takedown followed by a basement drop kick. Then Naito, actually no, Okada sets Naito on the top rope and he drop kicks him to the outside. So then as they're heading up the ramp, Naito ends up taking him, pretty much getting Okada down, slamming him on the ramp. Then he goes to the top of the entrance ramp and he's running down and he nails Okada with the drop kick full speed. So then Naito gets back in the ring and tries to retain the title by count out. But when the ref reached the count of 16, Okada makes it back in. So Naito throws him out and he's repeatedly whipping him into the guardrail before sending him back into the ring. And Naito ends up working over the head and neck area of Okada. Okada ends up creating space after a cross-arm neck breaker. Then he mounts a comeback, usual comeback where you have this big boot on Naito, which Naito does like the inside out bump. Always like the inside out bump because it really seems that devastating. But anyway, Naito gets outside the ring and you have them fighting back on they're back on the aisle fighting, and you have Naito getting the upper hand, kind of brings Okada to his knees, and then Naito's about to do another drop kick from the top of the entrance ramp. As he's making his way, he takes time to spit at a fan, and while he's doing this, Okada charges, running up the ramp with Naito not suspecting, Naito being unsuspecting, and he nails Naito with a drop kick. So they get back into the ring, and you have Naito hitting back-to-back neck breakers. Then you have Naito following up with a missile drop kick from the top rope for a 2 count. Okada comes back with a flapjack and then hits Naito with a flurry of offense, including a running uppercut for a 2 count. Okada then puts Naito in the red ink. It's a variation of the STF where he crosses the legs and he's kneeling. Better than any variation that John Cena does. Fuck him. Anyway, Naito ends up getting to the ropes. Okada goes to the top rope and nails Naito with the elbow drop and then signals for the Rainmaker. Naito counters the Rainmaker with a Uranagi. Then follows up whipping Okada into the corner, hitting a signature slingshot drop kick. Then follows up with an reverse STO, transitioning into the Pluma Blanca, aka the Koji Clutch. But Okada ends up countering it into a roll-up for a 2 count. Naito then gets Okada back in the Pluma Blanca, and Okada nearly passes out, but then he kind of hulks up and he gets to the ropes. So you have Naito hitting a Super Hurricane Rana, tries to go for Gloria, but Okada fights out of it and hits a series of uppercuts and a slap. Then Naito comes back with a spinebuster, goes for Destino, but then Okada pretty much let's see, Destino. Yeah, Okada hits Naito with a reverse neck breaker. Then he gets Naito with a series of basement drop kicks for a 2 count after a series of reversals. Then Naito slaps Okada, follows up with an enziguri and a flying forearm. Then makes a second attempt at Destino, but Okada ends up countering, attempting a German. Naito then reverses with a rolling kick, and Okada then reverses Naito's dragon suplex, going for a with the drop kick. Okada goes for the tombstone the third, I guess second time. Or was it the first time? Let's see. Okada goes to tombstone the first time, but Naito gets a reverse DDT. Naito gets like a, what is it, the third, fourth, 10th at Destino again. Then Okada counters with the tombstone. Then follows up with the Rainmaker. But Naito manages to kick out at 2. The tombstone, by the way, perfect counter to Destino. This match was much better than Invasion Attack, by the way. But you have Okada finally able to hit a German. Try it pretty much at their series. Then Naito gets a cradle pin for a 2 count after a series of reversals. Okada then destroys Naito with 3 Rainmakers in a row and gets the 3 count to become a 4-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. Because I remember, let's see, 2012 he won. Then 2000 Invasion Attack 2013. Dropped it to AJ. He got it back at Wrestle King. Yeah, this is his 4th reign. So Okada's going to begin his 4th reign as IWGP Heavyweight Champion. Which I didn't expect him to win the title that soon. I was expecting him to win the G1, then beat Naito at Wrestle Kingdom 11. But I guess they want Naito to win at Wrestle Kingdom since he's never won at Wrestle Kingdom at all in his career. So they're probably going to have him win the G1 and then regain the title at Wrestle Kingdom. Hopefully, if they do that, Naito gets a clean win. It wouldn't hurt Okada to lose clean at Wrestle Kingdom 11 to Naito if they're going to go that route. It's not going to hurt him at all. Fans are still cheer for him. But I'll give this match a 4.5 out of 5. Best match on the show. Both guys look strong. That's all I asked. So overall, this show, I really liked those 4 matches. Yeah, 4 matches that were at least 4 stars or higher. At the very least 4 stars. The rest of the card served its purpose. You had 2 matches under 3 stars, but the rest were like 3 to 3.5. So, and as entertaining as I was, I'll give this show an 8.5 out of 10. I thought this show was much better than Wrestling Dontaku and Invasion Attack. And I'm really looking forward to what happens at the G1 Climax. So, really want to see what happens, especially with some of the matches announced. And how stacked the A block is. Like one of the matches of the first night is Okada taking on Naomichi Marufuji from Pro Wrestling Noah. Fucking hyped right there. And then August 12th you have Okada and Tanahashi. Whew. I'm not sure how they can even surpass their match at Wrestle Kingdom 10. But Tanahashi will probably go over, which I'm fine with since he put over Okada at Wrestle Kingdom 10. But that has been your New Japan Pro Wrestling 2016 Dominion review. So I'm gonna be back if not by the end of the night. I'll try to get it first thing in the morning, but if I try to get the ROH Best in the World review out first thing in the morning, but if I don't, then I'll try to get it knocked out the way when I come home from work. So If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more coverage of Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm going to see if when NFL season rolls around, I'm going to try to cover the Houston Texans, my favorite team. So, hope you guys have fun with this review, and let me know what you thought about New Japan Pro Wrestling Dominion in the comment section below. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.